So this is going to be our warm up for the two movements, so the squat and deadlift. We're going to take you through 4 exercises here, just to prepare yourself, get your muscles ready, get your joints ready. So the first thing we do, we're going to do a self-ankle mobilization. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down onto one knee, place your ankle facing forward. You can take your hands out, you can come round, thumbs are going to reach through, just around your malleolus there, and you're going to just move your ankle through the motion of dorsiflexion there. What this self-mobilization is going to do, Nick can approach it from different angles if he wants. Yeah. He can come straight on, he can come around from a different angle there. That's going to help us with our dorsiflexion throughout the squat. So as you may know, a greater dorsiflexion can lead to a deeper squat. So any help you can get there would be great. Next we're going on to some lateral raises. So we repeat this on both sides. Again, repeat that with both ankles as well for the previous exercise. He's going to extend the leg, he's going to point his toes to the floor, and he's simply going to raise that, so duck the hip. What you'll find is that really activates the glute med muscle, which is a really good stabiliser throughout that squat motion. If needs be, if that's not hitting enough, we can put some hip extension in and do the same move. As you can see from Nick's face, that does activate the glute med quite well there. So from there, we're going to go again, around 8 to 10 reps of those on both sides if we can. Nick's going to roll onto his back, and we're going to focus on some nice diaphragm breathing here. This is going to be pivotal for both movements throughout, so Nick's going to take a nice big deep breath in, really fill those lungs up. We're going to focus on that belly breathing, so that diaphragm breathing. Some people like to breathe through the nose, they find that easier. It's whatever's easiest for you, but make sure those lungs inflate and you'll see his belly come up as he breathes in. And as he breathes out, you're really going to notice that depression, it goes in, it goes in. You can feel from the belly button that core tensing, really tensing up. And that's going to be moved. You're going to breathe in on the down motion of your squat. And as you come up, you're going to exhale all that air. That core's been nice and tight so you're upright, and also creates what we call the Valsalva manoeuvre. So it's creating internal pressure inside that, almost acting like a weightlifting belt, really helping you to push your way through, keeping you rigid and nice and strong. And finally, we're going to come up and we're going to do a squat matrix. So some of you might find this a bit harder, some might find it quite easy. I'm going to stand side on for you. We're going to basically come down to the lowest point of a squat you can do. You're going to grip your feet, hands inside your knees, and you're just going to move yourself around that motion wherever's comfortable for you. Move yourself forward again, get those ankles moving, back, but make sure you keep yourself balanced. Chest nice enough if you can, and you're slowly going to move yourself around and work yourself up, nice and slowly. And that's going to get those muscles ready, that's going to get the joints ready from what we've just done, and hopefully get you ready to do the squat and the deadlift. Thank you very much. Hiya, I'm Elliot. This is my squat and deadlift instructional video. So these are taken from my 4-week program we wrote for the module. I'm here with Nick today. And we're going to start off with a squat. So we are keeping ourselves 6 feet apart. Obviously we're going through the COVID-19 pandemic at the moment. So this is going to be aimed at people who maybe can't go outside and want to stay at home and do the workout. So the squat starts off. We're going to be shoulder width apart with the feet, facing nice and forwards. So we can see again Nick here. Nick has good posture, which is good. But we're going to focus on now that core. So if Nick finds his belly button, he's really going to tighten his core from the belly button. You'll bring that up and you'll find that does tilt the pelvis anteriorly sometimes, which is really nice, sets the hips under the core. Next, we're going to go for the toes. We're going to point them slightly out. We're going for around 10 to 30 degrees. I know it's hard to measure, but 10 to 30 degrees out. This is to do with adductor activation. Again, going back to my plan, this is what my client would have done. And the tripod feet. So moving on to the feet, you've got 3 aspects of the feet you want to focus on. So we've got there, there and there. We're going to try and grip the floor with these. So we don't want to be sitting back on our heels. We want to be trying to grip in the floor with those. That's going to be our point of reference for the floor. So we've got our stance nice and ready now. Now what we're going to focus on is chin forward. So throughout the movement, we're going to be facing nice and forward. Find a spot on the wall there, Nick. And we're going to try and keep our chest up when we go. And then we're going to go simply drop. So from the hips and the knees, simultaneously we're going to go down. We'll assess how it looks, and then we can make some altercations from there. So if we just do a couple for us now, Nick, we'll go together. 3, 2, 1. And again, another one. So I'll do one more, I'll take a look for you there, Nick. So that's really nice. We can see from Nick's technique, Nick has a good technique, which is nice. He's not got a butt wink, so sometimes...
you want me to rotate?
Huh?
You want me to rotate?
Yeah, rotate for me,
Yeah.
rotate for me. So as you can see on camera, Nick's not, when he goes down, he gets himself almost parallel with the floor, which is what we want, which is perfect. And that butt wink we were talking about, sometimes when the anterior core muscles, they don't have enough recruitment, they don't have enough strength, sometimes you can find as they go down, the pelvis can rotate under, and you get almost a winking of the bum there. That'll be really good from there, Nick. Again, another. If you do a few facing forward again.
Yep, you got it.
We can see his knees. So he hasn't got knee valgus. His knees come nicely out over his toes there. He's not leaning too far forward. Sometimes people can squat, and for demonstration, the knees can come in. That will demonstrate a weakness in the glutes. Obviously, we can see Nick's glutes are fine, which is good. If there was an issue with maybe glute weakness, you could potentially put a band around the knees. So when you put the band around the knees, the focus is for the person to push those knees out, activate the glute med, activate the glute muscles, and as they go down, really making sure they keep that pushed out, down, and that will keep those glute muscles activated. And the final thing we kind of want to look at, looking at this again, if Nick wants to face forward a minute and go down, we can see again, Nick's quite a good example. Not too much wrong, which is good. But his heels, so we look at the client's heels, we'd find, especially in footballers, like the people I wrote my plan on, sometimes the heels can come off the floor, or they can lose some depth. This depth can sometimes be lost because of the posterior chain, connecting chain. So your hamstrings, your calves, a bit of mobility. Sometimes that mobility does restrict some movement. You might find they can only go so far, especially again, dorsiflexion will be another big thing for that. If they do have that problem, I believe there's a book. Do you mind just grabbing that book? So they find like anything like a book, something wedged. You simply put it down. They plonk their heel on it, and again, this promotes the person when they're squatting. There's going to be a lot more of a quad load rather than going through the glute hamstring and everything. So again, that'll just make them be able to go that little bit deeper again. So they split back. Right, back on the bed for a minute. So some people may find that quite easy, like you did yourself. If you find that quite easy, we can grab yourself a big band here, a big resistance band. So I'll grab one here. And again, we're looking at the similar principles. So it's keeping that chin up, chest up, shoulder width apart, feet slightly out, knees nicely over toes as you go down, nice and smooth for us. Try and get down to that almost parallel if you can. So for this one, we're going to grab the band. Again, shoulder width apart, everything exactly the same as it was before. But this time we're going to bring the band up for us, just over the shoulders there, just over anterior delts if possible. Grip it nice in the middle. So this is almost going to imitate a front squat. Yeah. So to stop ourselves sloping in, we're going to ask Nick to try and push his chest up and his elbows out for us. Really tighten that core this time, because this band's going to want to fold you over. So you don't want to find yourself hip hinging. We just want to make yourself nice and smooth again. So we do a couple reps for us, Nick, now.
Let's go.
Go together. And again, you'll really feel that resistance. And right up, fight the power up. There you go. So again, if Nick does one more facing the other way for us, facing towards the window, get a nice side profile. Again, he's got to brace that core, really brace that core, keep that chest up, chin forward, and that nice grip, remember with the feet, not on the balls of your feet leaning back. Really nice form from Nick. So now we'll move on to a regression. So bands away. We've got ourselves a chair here. So some people maybe who are quite new to this movement, I'll grab the chair, who are quite new to this movement, may find that maybe they can't go the full way down and support themselves. So what we're going to do now, we're going to include a chair. So to start off with, we're going to start stood up. Again, similar things. I'm going to right at Nick. Nick's, from what I've taught him, he's going to have a quick look at what I'm doing, see if I'm doing okay. So again, nice sturdy base, keep my chin up. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to come down, touch a chair and come up. Down, touch a chair and come up. What we don't want to do is find ourselves sitting, because if you sit, you deactivate those core muscles and you're going to struggle coming up. You might find yourself flexing forward, you just don't have that rigidity to push yourself up. So if you want to give a few of those a go, Nick. Without hitting head on the ceiling. So there you go, that tap on the chair we can see there. Again, nice strong posture down below, really tight core, which is good. Tap that chair and up. So I think that is what we've got for squats at the moment. So like we said, focus on those prime, that first position is what's going to get you a good squat. If you can get yourself in a strong position here, like I said, knees over toes, nice tripod grip at the front, chin up, chest up, keep that core tensed, that movement down and up is going to be really important. But, yeah. And that is the squat explained.
Let's go.
So, now we've done the squat portion of the program, we're going to focus on the deadlifts. Throughout the deadlift program, my client would have done it with a bar. Unfortunately, obviously at home, I don't have access to a bar, neither does Nick. So we're going to do some neat little interpretations. We're going to go from the start to the very beginning, how we're going to learn this deadlift kind of, I guess, movement.
Yep.
We're going to start, you're going to place your feet hip widths apart. So for some people, maybe larger men, maybe women with larger hips, this may be slightly wider, that's not a problem, as long as they're your hip width apart. From here, hands, I'm going to go on the fronts of our thighs. And what we're going to focus on from here is a really nice hip hinge. So we want to keep those knees, try not to bend those knees. We're just going to work on now, chest up, chin up, and we're simply going to hinge till we get to our knees. So if I turn to the side and do this for you, so hip width like this, hands on the front, chest up, core tight and bracing, hinge to the hips. There you go. So that is going to be our back extensors doing that, and a nice eccentric contraction of the glutes there. So once we've got to this portion here, again, we're now going to go from our hip hinge into a nice eccentric leg press or reverse leg press. And we're simply just going to drop ourselves down, keeping that back again nice and flat still, chest up, head up, we're down here. So if we take ourselves back up again, we're going to hinge ourselves down to our knees, and then we're going to go down from here with that kind of reverse leg press. I'll show you what I mean. So if Nick gets on his back for us here, as you can see, there's going to be no movement from the back. That motion from when we're down here is that leg press to the knees, so that back stayed locked in. Those knees, you're simply going to push yourself up. When your hands reach your knees, you're going to bring your glutes through and your lower back extensors. So if Nick wants to stand up again, we'll go through that in one fluid motion, start from the top, going to the bottom. So he's going to face sideways, I'll face forward for this. So hip width apart, hands on the front here. We're simply going to hinge, keeping that core, keeping those back extensors, controlling that spinal flexion. When we hit our knees, we're going to hit our knees and then we're going to come down. There, it's going to be a drop, that leg press motion again. So from here it's up with the knees and then through with the glutes. So we'll do a couple of those, Nick. Bam, bam. Again, nice up, chest up, like that, to stop that bend of the spine. We're going to come up to the knees and through. Perfect. So that's kind of our starting block. We can progress this. So to progress this, we're going to take ourselves a big resistance band. Here we go. Here's one I prepared earlier. And we're going to take this, we're going to place it on the floor, and you're going to step on it about where you think your shoelaces would be. So nice in the mid portion of the foot there. When we grip this, we're going to want a pronated grip. What this pronated grip is going to do, it's going to take a lot of the weight off the bicep here, and it's going to increase when we go on that pull-up phase. It's going to increase that lat pull to get the body up straight. So from here, obviously we're starting from the bottom now instead of the top, but we're going to go leg press to the knees, bring the glutes through. And Nick will say you can feel that lat squeeze really pull you up.
Absolutely.
So from here, again, it's that hip hinge, hip hinge, hip hinge, hip hinge to the knees, and then down. And then we'll do one more from here.
That's
so
good.
leg press, through, hinge, down. And you'll notice with these especially, if Nick does one more, it is quite a tight band, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But Nick's demonstrating it great here, and you'll find that puts a lot less pressure on the bottom of the spine there. That nice leg press up, and then fire through with the hips and the back extensors there, bringing you through, maintaining that core at all times. So that is our interpretation of how we can do a deadlift from home. I hope you enjoyed, and tune in.